This is the 7th in the series of channelings from Archangel Michael. This one is called The Misleading Romantic Idealism Surrounding Spiritual Development. Our words today are for the many who are striving so hard to become spiritual. We have concern about the ever-increasing number of websites offering shortcuts to this state of being without any concern or reference to the actual stage of development of the people who may be influenced by their words. There are many such websites advertising recipes for paths to enlightenment and spiritual development. With few exceptions, they actually do no such thing, and they only encourage the idea that you can take a shortcut. Meditation and reaching a state of bliss so revered and desired by so many is certainly a vehicle for altering the state of consciousness for a short period, and for lifting the spirit when it is overwhelmed by everyday woes. However, until you have risen in frequency sufficiently to be able to utilise this tool to its fullest potential as part of your expanded consciousness, it does little for you at this stage beyond what I have said. By itself it is not the path to enlightenment, the gateway to true spiritual development, or even the key to a state of bliss that so many strive for. Meditation can and does quiet the mind and alter the state of consciousness, which is beneficial. However, because of all of the unresolved and unhealed negativity of which we speak, the time spent in such a state is always going to be transitory. The truth is that to be able to access the higher spiritual truth, increase awareness, and to be able to meditate and access the higher realms, you have first to grow and develop to reach the vibratory level of that which you wish to access. Many people entertain the idea that if they can connect to the higher vibrational energy frequencies of mythical beings or figures around which whole websites, belief structures and ideologies are built, that they will automatically achieve spiritual development and a rising of consciousness just by being bathed in the energy of it all. So many of you have had so much of this idealised stardust of instant development thrown into your eyes that you are confused and have therefore missed a vitally important point. The point is that there are no shortcuts. The desired state of bliss is a misnomer or myth misleading people to long for something which is not real. In actuality, it is the higher states of consciousness of the soul itself which are referred to. These cannot adequately be described or perceived whilst in physicality, and certainly not accessed until you have reached that point in your development. At this point in your time, there are only a small handful of people who have reached anywhere near this point. Even more important to you is the fact that too long a contact with very high frequency energies, which have not been modified for your dimension and human contact, is damaging to the human mind and psyche. Those of us who do wish to interact with you do so via an intermediary energy, or we communicate through someone also of a high frequency, so that the full force of what we are does not harm. We never bring the full force of what we truly are to bear when working with the earth plane. There are those who are not so responsible, and whose remit is not your growth, who encourage you to absorb their high frequency energies and look at pictures or download complex and damaging high vibrational codes for instant growth. Do not take this step. These are often the energies claiming to be the romantic and idealised versions of mythical beings, or claiming to be advanced spiritual beings whose remit is confusion, not growth. Spiritual development is actually a path of healing and clearing, which allows a rise in energetic frequency. A rise in energetic frequency brings with it greater awareness and expanded consciousness, because as you rise in frequency, so more and more universal truths can be perceived and understood. Expanding the mind and awareness beyond the physical plane means that you can access knowledge and awareness pertaining to each frequency you reach. With this comes the ability to achieve an altered state of consciousness for the periods of time required to talk to and interact with those in higher dimensions of reality. However, living on this physical plane of reality means that you can only visit these dimensions for short periods, Otherwise you are not properly engaged with the life you chose to have here. To achieve growth and expanded consciousness and awareness is actually a never-ending journey, since you never cease to grow and develop. It is not the romantic, rosy path of passive acceptance that so many believe it to be. It takes hard work, courage to face oneself, determination, and a strong commitment to the path of healing and development, as well as the humility to take responsibility for all that you may have done in any lifetime, as well as the real desire to put matters right. This is part of your spiritual development that is not properly recognised yet. The acceptance and taking responsibility for every negative and harmful thing you have ever done in any lifetime, and seeking the means to put matters right. We will speak of this in greater detail in another channeling. To develop yourself involves being a whole soul to start with, and only those who have had the work of reconnection done properly through us are whole at this time. Being actively prepared to seek the healing on all levels of being that you need at this time is vital. For only by being whole and then releasing the negative energies of all traumas from all past and present lifetimes, healing all your inner child issues from this and all past lives, being reconnected to all your pieces of soul which disconnected themselves through trauma in this and past lives, plus the removal of any unwanted energetic attachments for a start, will any rise in frequency begin to be felt, and that is only the beginning. To achieve a safe and stable rise in frequency, it must be achieved by all aspects of yourself together in harmony and synchronicity to avoid the problems of imbalance. By all aspects of yourself, what we mean is the subtle bodies, emotional, mental and spiritual, as well as each piece of soul having the human experience and the physical body. This healing and clearing is truly the only way to achieve true, lasting and stable spiritual development. You cannot and should not expect to be able to rise to the stars before you have begun to walk in your own shoes here, with awareness and understanding. The majority of people have hardly begun to do any of the healing and clearing needed to create the very substantial rise in frequency they seek. You cannot suddenly go to a high level of development and spirituality that is beyond your frequency without doing the groundwork first, of which we have spoken. It is against all the laws of the universe and is just not possible. So I say to you again, there are no shortcuts. Love and blessings to you all. Michael.